Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into something really cool in Finnish grammar, demonstrative pronouns as objects. You might be familiar with the words like tämä, tuo, nämä, but did you know that they can also be objects in a sentence? That's right. We will look at how these pronouns can change depending on whether they are the subject or the object in a sentence. So let's get started. Well, if you haven't watched my previous video on demonstrative pronouns as subjects, please kindly watch it before continuing. Demonstrative pronouns are words we use to point out or emphasize specific objects. Now, let's talk about what happens when these demonstrative pronouns become objects of a sentence. When they are used as objects, they take on different forms depending on the case. This can be a bit tricky because in Finnish, the case of the object tells you something about the action or whether it's finished or ongoing. So without waiting further, let's get started. In Finnish, when demonstrative pronouns act as objects, they can appear in two main cases, the accusative, accusatiivi, and partitive, partitiivi. The accusative is used when the action is complete and the partitive is used when the action is incomplete or ongoing. Let's first look at accusatiivi. Taman, this, tuon, that, sen, it or that, nämä, these, nuo, those, ne, them or those. So the accusative is used when the action is completed or when the object is a whole entity. Now let's look at some example sentences. Luen tämän kirjan. Here, tämän is a demonstrative pronoun which means this. Luen comes from the verb lukea, means to read. Kirja means book. Luen tämän kirjan means I will read this book. Ostin tuon takin. Here, tuon is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Ostin comes from the verb osta, means to buy. Takki means jacket. So, ostin tuon takin means I bought that jacket. Now, in this example sentence, tuon is used because it refers to a completed action. Näetkö sen auton? Here, sen is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Näetkö? Do you see? It comes from the verb nähdä, means to see. Auto means car. So, näetkö sen auton means do you see that car? Now, why sen is used here? Let me remind you once again, accusatiivi is used when there is a completed action or whole object. In this statement, sen auton refers to the whole object. So, näetkö sen auton means do you see that car? Now let's have a look at some plural objects. Monikko means plural and yksikko means singular. Let's quickly look at this sentence. Luen nämä kirjat. Here, nämä is a demonstrative pronoun which means these. Luen comes from the verb lukea, means to read. Kirja means book. So, luen nämä kirjat means I will read these books. Since this sentence is telling us about the future, we use accusative case. So, luen nämä kirjat means I will read these books. Now let's look at demonstrative object pronoun in the partitive case. Tätä, this, tuota, that, sitä, it or that, näitä, these, noita, those, niitä, them or those. Okay, so let me remind you once again. The partitive is used when the action is not complete or when the object is uncountable or indefinite. Now let's have a look at some of the example sentences. Luen tätä kirjaa. Tätä is a demonstrative pronoun which means this. When comes from the verb lukea means to read. Kirja means book. Luen tätä kirjaa means I am reading this book. Now, to refer to an ongoing action, we use tätä. So, luen tätä kirjaa means I am reading this book. Odotan tuota bussia. Here, tuota is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Odotan comes from the verb odottaa means to wait. Bussi means bus. Odotan tuota bussia means I am waiting for that bus. Now, since this is an ongoing action, we use partitive case. Tuota. Kuuntelen sitä musiikkia. Here, sitä is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Kuuntelen means I am listening. It comes from the verb kuunnella means to listen. Musiikki means music. Kuuntelen sitä musiikkia means I am listening to that music. Again, this is an ongoing action, so we use partitive form of demonstrative pronoun, sitä. Now let's look at one more example. Haluan tätä kakkua. Here, tätä is a demonstrative pronoun which means this. Haluan comes from the verb haluta means to want and kakku means cake. Haluan tätä kakkua means I want some of this cake. Now, if we want to refer to a part of an object, we use partitive form of the object. Ostin tuota juustoa. Tuota is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Ostin comes from the verb ostaa means to buy. Juusto means cheese. Ostin tuota juustoa means I bought some of that cheese. Here we want to refer to an undefined amount of cheese. So we use tuota. Näen sitä taloa. Here, sitä is a demonstrative pronoun which means that. Näen comes from the verb nähdä means to see. Talo means house. Näen sitä taloa means I see part of that house. So, in order to refer to a portion of the house, we use a partitive form. Sitä. Rakastan näitä kukkia. Here, näitä is a demonstrative pronoun which means these. Rakastan, to love. It comes from the verb rakasta. Kukkia comes from the noun kukka, means are. Rakastan näitä kukkia means I love these flowers. In this sentence, we are referring to some of the flowers. So, we are using partitive form. Näitä. Maistan noita hedelmiä. Here, noita is a demonstrative pronoun which means those. Maistan comes from the verb maista. It means to taste. Hedelma means fruit. Maistan noita hedelmiä. It means I taste some of those fruits. In this sentence, to refer to some of the fruits and not all, we use partitive form. Noita. Näen niitä autoja. Here, niitä is a demonstrative pronoun which means those. Näen comes from the verb nähdä, means to see. Auto means car. Näen niitä autoja means I see some of those cars. Now you will ask me, what is the difference between niitä and noita? Noita refers to something that is closer to the listener or is pointed at directly. And niitä, you are referring to things far from both the speaker and the listener. The things that are more general or already known. Alright, that's it on demonstrative pronouns as objects. Remember, the case you choose depends on whether the action is complete or ongoing. Keep practicing. Soon enough, these in sentences will feel natural. If you are enjoying this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the next video.